How much do you know about Stillwater's history? What's it like living here today? And what does the future hold for you? All this and more will be answered as we take a trip through time on this episode of Pete's Corner. Welcome to this week's episode of Pete's Corner. I'm your host, Rachel Davis, and today we're going to go look into Stillwater's history, take a stroll through the bustling present, and take a leap into the future. And we're going to start with the easiest one, the present. And wouldn't you know it, we're already here. And I wonder, how much does it cost to live here? Let's go to Carson and find out.
Oklahoma State boasts a truly mesmerizing campus. From grand architecture and relentless renovations to man-made watering holes and astounding floral decor, it's clear that OSU is firmly dedicated to the maintenance of its campus. But this maintenance comes at a hefty price, a price that many of its students, such as aerospace security major Emma Dunnigan, are struggling to keep up with.
We are student workers. It's the whole college student, poor, eating ramen forever, but also I can't afford to pay rent and then also get groceries and pay for tuition and stuff like that and all the other random fees that come. I can't pay my medical bills right now.
While OSU has raised its tuition only once over the last 5 years, the rest of the economic world has not followed suit. Drowning in rampant inflation from every conceivable angle, a large portion of OSU students are forced to fill their free time with menial labor, regardless of their condition.
Actually, last week, I knew that I did not have the time to call out of work, and I was sick. I deal with a chronic illness, so I'm always tired, and I know that I have to go to work. I really don't have a choice in the matter.
In times of financial struggle, students of the past would often resort to working 2 jobs. Animal science student Cameron Baca has dabbled in the multi-job lifestyle in the past, but part-time work is few and far between right now in the competitive job market of Stillwater, Oklahoma, and Cameron has had to get creative.
Without the second job, when I'm struggling, it's just a matter of like picking up shifts, selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace, getting rid of stuff around the house that we don't use anymore, or that like I've grown out of clothes. I'll sell them, donate them, get rid of them.
Basic groceries are skyrocketing, fast food is now a luxury, and property managers like XFD Real Estate Partners, who own Cottage Row here in Stillwater, are merciless with their rent hikes. That, combined with a tight, low-paying job market, has students all around campus feeling the pain.
Yeah, I was paying like $550 before, and I'm paying around like $700 to $800.
I mean, honestly, with the price of food on campus, like whether it's 20-something at Adams Market, North Dining, like it's kind of expensive. Like a burger at B&B is like, it's what, $13 with tots and a drink. Like, I mean,
when I got here, I had like $10K, and now I'm looking at like $3.
I have a lot of friends also who like don't have any money on their meal plans anymore, and so they're kind of like stuck. I told somebody the other day, like, yeah, I only make $2.13, and they were like, what? Like, that's illegal. I was like, no, it's not. I make tips.
Yeah, I could get enough food to like be full, but I can't be spending that much money, you know? So
while inflation may be declining in some areas, prices certainly aren't. In spite of OSU's stagnant tuition, the lower income students of OSU still seem doomed to a life absent of basic necessities for the foreseeable future. For Pete's Corner, this is Carson Buller, signing off.
Now that we've got rent figured out, let's see where we can spend that extra cash. Peyton just texted me, and he knows where we can get the best deals here at the University Store.
The goalpost dropped on Saturday, and so did the prices on Monday. The OSU Student Union Bookstore decided to celebrate the Bedlam victory in style. For one day only, every single piece of OSU-related clothing was 40% off.
If they win on Saturday, we're going to celebrate, and we're going to have a 40% off sale in the store on Monday. And so sure enough, we're standing there watching the game on Saturday and like crossing our fingers and biting our nails. And when they pulled it off, we were like, okay, I guess we're having a sale on Monday.
And for students on a budget, it created the perfect opportunity to cash in. And it showed, as the store had over 1,000 transactions made that Monday. And if the football team keeps rolling like they are right now, it's hard to say that count will slow down anytime soon.
Like, because I knew the expensive stuff is just expensive in general, so I just kind of wanted to, like, take advantage of that bargain, and then I'm like, it won't happen again, so why not?
If you were at the sale on Monday, chances are you've been in this union a handful of times. But the sale also impacted those that weren't picking out their 50th shirt. They were picking out their first. Not bad. With the largest student union in the nation, it's hard to know who will walk through that door next. For many students, the student union is one of the first introductions to the Cowboy spirit, and the people making the place run know how important a good first impression is.
You know, we see a lot of people here on campus tours and stuff like that, and it's always exciting to see them exploring and picking out their first OSU t-shirt. I think, you know, this being the student union, this is a destination for our students, and I'm just so happy that we're here and able to support our students through this building.
From celebrating Bedlam victories with the past and present to helping supply gear for the future, the Union Store is the pinnacle for bringing Cowboys together, and that is 100% off. Reporting from the Student Union Bookstore, Peyton Little, Pete's Corner.
What a great place to buy OSU gear, and we finally have the answer to the long-standing rivalry of OU versus OSU, and OSU came out on top, for now. Let's go to Claire as she tells us what's next for the Cowboys.
The time has come for the University of Oklahoma and Oklahoma State University to square off one last time in Boone Pickens Stadium. Bedlam football is one of Oklahoma's most riveting sporting events and intense rivalries, but it all came to a head on November 4th. For the last time, these two teams squared off to see who would be the final Bedlam champion. OSU safety Garrick Martin explains why this Bedlam was important to him and the team.
Winning Bedlam this weekend was one of the coolest experiences of my life, and it was just super fun to celebrate after the game with all the fans, and it just felt really good to have our team's hard work pay off after all these hard practices.
Bedlam football began in 1904 before Oklahoma was even officially a state. This goes to show how monumental this matchup has been throughout history. Not only has it been a fan favorite event among Oklahomans, but it also helps drive local business in both Norman and Stillwater. Aaron Simons of Raven Rock Pizza describes how the accumulation of fans in one stadium brings out the best for business and morale.
Being in a stand selling food, it's just a huge diversity with the state that all comes together. I feel like even with OU and OSU, it's still a great thing.
Although OU normally refers to OSU as little brother, this time around, the Cowboys proved that they truly are the big brother. After this historic win, Cowboys fans showed how they like to celebrate in Stillwater.
A field goal sealed the deal for OSU's victory over OU by a score of 27-24, and Cowboy fans went crazy. That same goalpost met its match when crowds stormed the field and decided a win like this called for drastic measures. It was carried out of Boone Pickens and thrown into Theta Pond, cementing this win as one that will go down in the history books. Lifelong Pokes fan Tatum Disador recalls how this moment signifies the Cowboy spirit.
And it was really cool to see like the field goal get torn down and stuff and getting it thrown into Theta Pond. Definitely an experience I'm going to remember for a lifetime for sure.
As OU moves to a new conference and Bedlam football comes to a close, it's time for us Cowboys to say SE see ya later to the Sooners. For Pete's Corner, I'm Claire Thomas.
Coming up, what does the future have in store? And what can history teach us? All this and more after the break.
I want to show you something. This is the money we could save by switching from fresh packed California crushed tomatoes to concentrated tomato paste.
I want to show you something too. I got a new door. Go take a look at it.
Nobody uses better ingredients than Little Caesars. Like fresh-packed California crushed tomatoes. Pick up a large, deep dish for just $8. Pizza.
While the last Bedlam game marks the end of an era, it also brings about a new chapter for the university. Speaking of transitions, let's check in with Miles to see what he's up to.
Students at Oklahoma State University have not only the ability, but also the right to influence the future of Stillwater and the wider state of Oklahoma.
I don't think that most people realize that they have, at least here in Stillwater and within these smaller communities, their vote absolutely counts.
The difference that even a fraction of the student population can make in elections cannot be understated.
In a community with a population roughly 50,000, And we know that our university makes up about half of that. Think about that.
Just 2 lines in a signature are all it takes for folks abiding across the nation to vote in local and state elections. Students like Aiden McCallum are not yet aware of this simple change.
More people being aware of this would have a huge impact on the local election scene. It let more people have their voice in the local government.
How does involvement today affect Stillwater tomorrow?
What we're doing now is what you will lead through, improve, enhance, make even greater than we could even imagine very soon.
The future of Stillwater and Oklahoma State University can only grow as more students amplify their voice in a vote. With Pete's Corner, I'm Miles Jennings.
That's great information, Miles, but that's not the only project going on in the city. There's a certain sorority house that's looking towards the future, and Lindsay's on the scene to give you a preview of things to come.
Pi Beta Phi's home looks a little different this year. That's because last spring, Pi Phi toured the house it called home for almost a century. Although living in Midtown for the time being is a delight, it doesn't replace having a sorority house and the memories that are made there.
My whole PC is on the same floor, so we can just walk to each other's apartments, and it's very similar, so it hasn't really been that different. Obviously, it's not the most ideal situation.
Pi Phi still finds ways to make the most out of the situation, whether it be finding ways to socialize with other members outside their own pledge class, or cherishing the lifetime of memories from the old house.
Made our memories in it while we could, and we just kind of goofed around. We played hide and seek. I remember towards the end, we would paint on the walls.
Pi Phi has even found ways to incorporate the past with the future.
And then we all signed a beam that they're putting, like there was alumni and all of our PCs that signed beams that they're putting inside the house.
Although the members of Pi Beta Phi are eager to live here, they still try to hold on to the memories from the old house, both past and present.
There are many things that the current in-house members miss out on, like meals, having all the members within a central place, and the tradition of living with their big little. Miller was fortunate to live in the old house and carry on a tradition that many in her PC couldn't. She says getting a chance to live in the old house helped her and her big become closer. Also, despite not having a house, her bond with her Pi Phi family hasn't been affected.
My big is my best friend, and my little. I love them both, and we all go to dinner together as a family.
While members have seen renderings and are ready to be reunited at the new house, they still admire the old house and the memories inside of it.
I mean, I think the old house had a lot of character, and like there was many PCs before. There's a lot of stories to tell in that house.
Kind of sad because we're like, oh, I wish we were there, but it's also really exciting because once they got the beams up, we're like, oh my gosh, it's actually happening. And then they have the picture of it outside, and we're like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so pretty.
Pi Beta Phi is counting down the days when they can reunite back on Cleveland Street and 4th Avenue in January 2025. For Pete's Corner, I'm Lindsay Height.
Speaking of creative endeavors, just like Miles' story showcases innovation in our community, there's another cultural gem making waves. Let's shift our focus from the bustling streets to the serene halls of the Art Museum, where Ava has the story.
Art is an essential way to understand history. It gives viewers today a lens to the past. Especially in Oklahoma, there is so much culture and historical context to discover. The OSU Museum of Art demonstrates this through individual art pieces, exhibitions, and through its staff members.
Art is a really fantastic thing to explore the idea of past and present because it's been a piece of the human experience for as long as we've been around. You know, you think about our earliest paintings are cave paintings, and we have pieces of pottery and things, and those are beautiful pieces of artistry.
I think art is such a personal thing to showcase heritage. It really gets into sort of cliches within art. The museum's currently offering an exhibition on Leon Polk Smith, an Oklahoma artist who's actually an incredible example of Oklahoma history in the past and present age.
I would say this museum, and especially this exhibit right now, is a great example of showcasing art and art history. Here, Leon Polk Smith Affinities in Design, we're showcasing a native Oklahoman artist from the past.
What's really exciting about this exhibition is that it is a twofold exhibition where we are exploring the artwork of an Oklahoma artist, Leon Polk Smith, who was born and raised here and discovered his passion for art right here in Oklahoma. Every moment in history, we mark it with a different artistic period, and we get to explore culture and we get to explore present day events through that artwork that was created at the time.
What a great time touring the museum with Ava. It's truly a testament to the timeless beauty of art. Now, let's go to see Sarah as she's checking out another local art museum.
The Stillwater History Museum at the Sherrar is home to loads of history and historical belongings. The museum is always changing exhibits and booths. Each booth has its own theme and unique story.
Here at the Sherrar Museum, you can explore Stillwater's history through the many booths and the exhibits that they have.
There are opportunities to learn something new about Stillwater at every turn in the museum, whether it be learning about how the crop turnips fed and saved the town in a drought, or the original Pistol Pete mascot head that sits on display. The museum is coming up on their 50-year anniversary and only has more surprises to offer.
So at the end of this year, we're going to be closing down for 3 months. We have some big plans to renovate the museum. It's going to be, the whole thing's called Making History. And the first panel that you'll see will be Becoming Stillwater. So it will have kind of an overview of all the different pieces that make up Stillwater, from transportation to, anything you can think of.
The new exhibits that will be installed soon will be able to give more insight into the past and history of Stillwater. The museum workers are passionate about what they do and make exhibits to give a sense of what life used to be like.
Well, I really enjoy working at the museum for a couple of reasons. One is I enjoy the exhibits we create and learning about new things and meeting new people and hearing their stories and really learning more and more and more about Stillwater's history, and then just a taste of what life might have been like 100 years ago. Those are my favorite things.
The museum continues to grow and educate visitors on Stillwater's history. The Sherrar Museum helps us to understand the past of Stillwater while keeping the town's future in mind. With Pete's Corner, Sarah Orsburn.
After a long journey through time, we're back here to the present. But let's remember to take with us the lessons of the past, the energy of the present, and our aspirations of the future. I'm your host, Rachel Davis, and this has been Pete's Corner. Thanks for watching.
Where were you born? It's a question asked all the time, because where you're from shapes who you are, inspires how you do things. And when that inspiration comes from a place this refreshing, this majestic, this, well, you get the idea. Coors Light, born in the Rockies.